Hello and welcome to chapter 127 of our streaming adventure. Uh, Even though I'm on vacation from work this week, I was still feeling kind of wiped out because this past Saturday and Sunday I did quite a bit of streaming. And so I wasn't really sure if I really was going to put something out today, but then I kind of was thinking I could go over the lists that were published from the three different Eternal Weekend events, and I thought that would be an interesting way to kind of go through and maybe find, I don't want to say diamonds in the rough, but maybe just different ideas or takes on decks that would look interesting for future streams. So that is what I came up with. Finding out your sub is expired due to a pre-stream ad. Oh, that's a blowout. If you subscribe to my channel, you do not have to watch ads. That is that is a button I know for a fact that I have clicked. So if you are watching an ad right now, well, you wouldn't be able to hear me. But if you happen to have already watched an ad and then are now hearing me, a sub means no more ads. Just saying. Just saying. Let me tell you about what we did immediately. Yeah. So, what was I looking for? I think I feel like I had something set up that I was going to look at. I, of course, no longer remember. Oh, I was doing my... When you have an animal and you have to do the heartworm and flea and tick update and stuff, always ask about a rebate. Because not only is that stuff super expensive, but usually there's some kind of coupon or something that you can get from the vet. Or it's like a little form to fill out so that you maybe get $20. I think one of them, it's like you get a $5 rebate off a 6-pack or $10 off a 12-pack. Well, we kind of buy their stuff in advance, but hey, $10? $10 is $10. That's Dr. Pepper. Never underestimate the monetary savings that could lead to more Dr. Pepper. Okay. So, I was just checking one more thing on the Discord. Hi, buddy. Did you come to say hi? Yeah, I have to... You're the one that I have to do all this rebate stuff for. Okay. So, event number 1, which was Tolarian Academy. This is the one that started 3 in the morning. And in event number 1, the 3 a.m., we were playing 4-color Breach. In our first round against 4-color PO, that was against Mind Candy, and that was the one where they took 17 minutes to play their first game. And I think it was when I was kind of questioning the morality, I guess, of when do you scoop to an opponent versus when do you make them play it out. And for the anger and stuff I had in the Legacy event, especially kind of when you see the praise after the fact of, oh, that particular player is such a master. And it's like, well, he lost to me, but, that's kind of like in the fine print that you don't hear about after the fact. So, how he gets this reputation of being such a good player, but how many times has he done the same thing? Versus, I think it was a case of our opponent beat us, but they were working their way through the interface, and maybe it is a situation where I should have, as they're clicking their way through, knowing, okay, this is what they need to do to finish. But I felt like I still had a chance in the game, and so that's why I didn't necessarily just give up, because I feel like I could interact. But okay, and then round 2 was against the Hogak Vine that we ended up beating them, and so that's when we were sitting on 2-0. And then against King Dingaling, the bug player, we lost. We had an opening turn 1 kill because we looked with Gitaxian Probe and we knew what was up, and for whatever reason I didn't think about going for it, and I played out to another thing, and then they eventually drew out of it to beat me, and I feel like I let that error compound, and I never really recovered, and I ended up losing that one. We lost to Golos in the round 4, and then we lost to Bug playing Ren and 6 when we kind of got locked out. So it's not necessarily that it was the deck's fault by any chance or anything like that, but I knew that trying to play at 3 a.m. or whatever, it didn't. I thought we had better value in stopping this one to try to come back later a little bit, maybe more rested, and it did turn out better that way. But let's finish this recap of the first one. I wonder, does it show like final standings? Yes, the top 16 only. Okay, so if we go to, just trying to page back up. So this was Burra Run playing Bug. And they seem to be pretty straightforward. 3 Tarmogoyf, 3 Leovold, Oof main, the 4 Assassin's Trophy. I mean, this is almost, because when we were watching the Card Titan recap from the previous year, I mean, Joe Brennan's list last year is almost copy-paste into this year, Like, I'm trying to think, what really would there be different in this list that he did not have available to him? Yeah, literally all of these cards would have been legal to play in last year's event. So that's kind of interesting that nothing here, if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it, I guess. He beat friend of the stream A Miracle in the finals. They beat. What does Amir have available? Arcanist was legal. Is Mystic... No, Mystic Sanctuary is the same set as Oko, so that also would have been legal. I did see a sideboard post. Let me see if I can bring it up in the... or no, it was in the Discord. Talking about... their list and saying... where is it? I wouldn't call that combo. Blue Cantrip Control. They mentioned how the Pithy Needles... the Pithy Needle on the sideboard was powerful because of how good it was against Wasteland. Access to your mana, you're going to win. You can interact with spheres on the stack or taking them out with a spree, but constant land destruction is too taxing on you. Jeskai biggest weakness is land destruction. I would go as far to estimate 60 or 70% of my losses came from mana denial. And I feel like isn't that like Bug's whole... The draw to Bug is not only do they have the recurring... I guess I shouldn't say recurring, just having so many. Wasteland, Strip Mine, along with the 4 Assassin's Trophy, Spell Pierce. Do they have days? Okay, no days, but Spell Pierce, Force Will, Force Negation, Flusterstorm. Collector Oof turning off the artifact mana. Leovold, Narset turning off. You know, you're going to cantrip your way out of it. It seems like Bug is set up in a way to punish trying to play fair. And the thing is, what's funny is they're kind of their own fair deck, but you know, it's fighting the middle ground and being better at it than the other people, and so you kind of have to take advantage of them. But they still seem to be fairly set up, and in this case, they won. I was looking what else they might say. Somebody asked them about not using Tabernacle out of the sideboard. Yeah, Tabernacle usually being how can you fight this Bazaar of Baghdad fueled menace? They said, I don't think Tabernacle's worth it at the moment. I have a pretty high game 1 win rate versus Hollowmine decks. Tabernacle is solid versus Dredge, but if they have a lot of waste effects now, it doesn't stop Icarid. I guess it's just not part of my post-board plan. I want Surgical Vines, shutting them down with Lavinia, cleaning up their threats with Swords and Arcanist. Game 1 Lavinia plus Needle is the hammer. They have a main deck Needle? Ooh, they do have a main deck Needle. Unless they have a really busted first turn, then I guess I was going to lose anyway. Interesting. So what else was out there? World Gorger played Doomsday. So here, I actually wanted to maybe write down what are our archetypes for the top 8 each day. So we've got, come on, pen. All right. So we got number 1, number 2, number 3. And so I guess we could do them in, we'll just go top to bottom. So we got Bug, Jeskai, Doomsday, Arcanist, Tarmogoyf. Is this the 4 color? Or is this just 3 color? It's sometimes harder to see not, you know, displayed out. This looks like 3 color. What are the black cards? Like Leyline? Okay, Surgical Extraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Are they playing the actual card Extract? That is some Doomsday tech. I will extract your Thassa's Oracle. I will extract your Monastery Mentor. I will extract your Bolas's Citadel. I mean, basically, in a world of restricted cards, if you don't want to spend 6 mana to Jester's Cap them and get 3 cards, what if you spent 1 mana to just get 1 of the cards? You can extract and then Dreadhorde Arcanist it back. That's kind of awesome. So, rug with extract. I really like that. Like, let's go out the Doomsday. Oh, see, Doomsday is double Thassa's Oracle. You're gonna have to flash that back if you're gonna get there. They're also playing one main deck Surgical Extraction. Dreadhorde Arcanist for Cling to Dust. I do wonder if Cling to Dust is not enough. I mean, you can Cling to Dust Dreadhorde's target, but I'm more interested with Dreadhorde being on my side, maybe, than against me. But no, if this is literally really extract, that's interesting. Okay, and then this is Seagate Stormcaller. So this is the new one that if you play it, then the next thing you play gets doubled. So it's, I was comparing this, or in my head, I was thinking this as, you know, oh, that feels like a worse Snapcaster Mage. Where really, Snapcaster Mage gains its value with literally the instant factor, whereas it maybe gains its utility there. This is not so much that, it's that you're getting double out of it. So in either case, with Snapcaster or with this, you still need to play the second spell. So it's not like you're necessarily getting a discount or anything like that. The question is, okay, well, the instant speed of Snapcaster being able to play counterspells, honestly, counterspells is the big one. But if you Seagate Stormcaller and followed up by casting Ancestral Recall, Snapcaster exiles the card. I don't believe this exiles the card. Yeah. Well, maybe Snapcaster is getting value out of things you've already played, whereas this is like, okay, I can't give you value from those things you've already played, but if you can play something after me, that's where I'll give it to you. So for 3 mana to draw, like, we know, everybody knows Ancestral, 1 blue, draw 3 cards. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But what if for 3 mana you could draw 6 cards? Also ridiculous, but it is kind of an interesting way to do it. Cling is in the same vein as Deathrite Shaman. Soft Graveyard Hate. The thing is, Deathrite Shaman, not only can it mess with the graveyard, but it also is mana acceleration in a world of fetch lands. So that has a little bit more value than Cling. Proactive Snapcaster. That's a good way to think about it. That Snapcaster can only, I can only give you stuff that you've already done. Seagate is looking at the stuff that you're going to play after it. So that is a good way to look at it. But overall, this looks like blue-red. Just blue-red. Blue-red Stormcaller. I guess in this case, you use Seagate Stormcaller, you get doubles out of it, and then Arcanist attacks and you get the third one. I mean, that's just good value. And they were playing Library Alexandria. They should have known better. They don't get that value until the second event. Cherry Man with Doomsday again. One Scion, one Great Creator. Scion's not restrict, no. But we have a Golo Shops. And then 8th place. They draft the beats, but they play the fair. Assassin's Trophy Bug again. So far, the first top 8, we're looking at Bug, Jeskai, Doomsday, Rug, Blue-Red, Stormcaller, Arcanist type, Doomsday, Goloshops, and Bug. So, 2 Bug, 2 Doomsday, and then a couple bits of variation. Just missing out Wamba. That would be a Bazaar. We didn't have a Bazaar there otherwise. Did the blue-red deck have fun? Okay. No, I guess I looked at the creature suite and then glossed over. I should have looked at the lands. Looking at the lands would be a better way to do it. So, okay, we have a Grixis. I don't see any Blood Chief's Thirsts here, though. That's what they're missing. Yeah, I glossed over the Underground Seas. Good call. Interesting. They have Brain Freeze in the sideboard. They sideboard into Breach. They have Brain Freeze, Underworld, Breach. So unlike the Breach decks, there's even more to it. Sideboard Breach plan. That's interesting. Whereas you normally see it starting as Breach, and then you adjust to Hate. It is kind of weird to be playing an Arcanist deck, and your response to them dealing with the Arcanist is to go heavier on the graveyard. But I guess that's what Sprite Dragon and the Stormcaller. The Stormcaller, unlike Snapcaster would get turned off by interacting with the graveyard. Stormcaller is going to give you the value up front. So that's an interesting way to look at it. See, it's a lot easier. So not me. When are you going to start streaming so that we can comment on your streams? I'm just curious. Because it's definitely easier to armchair quarterback there. Yeah, Mind Twist, huh? Mind Twist in a deck that is not powered by Dark Ritual is even more interesting. Misdirection as well. I think Misdirection is possibly impressive more with the Sprite Dragon, and that's something maybe worth considering. That if they try to kill your Sprite Dragon, you can just misdirect it somewhere else. 14 lands, mana. What are you spending Mana Crypt on? Maybe the cost of these? Yeah, that does seem weird. Man, 14 lands including library. Yeah, I guess. How are you going to get the quick mana for Mind Twist? Obviously, play Mana Crypt. And I would agree. That's definitely true. That sometimes you can win with a list and it just, isn't 100% there. Looking back at my top 8 I had with Green White Madness, what is that, Odyssey block era, it was funny to look back at the list afterwards and just be like, why didn't I play Call of the Herd? It sure seems like Call of the Herd would be much better, but I think we realized, or it was the Psychotog decks and stuff were playing Aetherburst, and so Aetherburst made Call of the Herd worse because you were going to lose mana on it. But I think against like the black decks of the world that existed there with like mono black control, I feel like Call of the Herd would have been better served there. But So, did we gloss over anything from the other lists? Let's just do a double check again. Let's look for sideboard spice. I mean, I can't believe... I noticed the extract at least. Duress, Mindbreak Trap, Steel Sabotage. The extract is impressive. Mind Twist, give it its proper due. Hey, were we not talking about this card? I think it might have been the third one where I said I was trying to think of a black card that could have answered the Sphinx. And here it is. So, Feed the Swarm, when they Sphinx of the Steelwind you, this is how you kill it. At least in the blue-red black deck, when we were thinking, oh no, we can't shatter it, we can't whatever, we would have to kick a Bloodchief's Thirst. In this case, Feed the Swarm out of the Doomsday deck. Although the Doomsday deck is already living dangerously with life, I guess, but... Well, 2 mana is pretty bad, but what if your option is that you can't win the game? I guess when you're looking at Steel Sabotages right next to it, yeah, these Steel Sabotages have to be better. Maybe is Feed the Swarm there for Ley Lines? I mean, are they relying on the utility? You know, is this first and foremost to kill an enchantment? I would think you play like Chain of Vapor then, and just bounce the enchantment. I don't know. Yeah, I think Innocent Blood would be a better way to do it. You should play Innocent Blood with Young Pyromancer. I'll give you that technology for free. Innocent Blood, Young Pyromancer, and Cabal Therapy. Just go to town. What was this? This is the Golos shops. And then Toxic Deluge. Alright, 9th place was the first Bazaar deck. Nobody likes Bazaar decks. Jeskai. Seems pretty straightforward, Jeskai. Yeah, I do like that innovation. Like, you're the first one that I had seen did that you're putting the tutor in the sideboard as a way to be the extra copies, because the disadvantage in the main sometimes isn't worth it. And so if you can, I'm trying to think how you worded it. It was like, when it's a knockout punch, why wouldn't you do it? Like, and in this case, maybe that's even more so, that Vampiric Tutor, when you have, you know, these energy fluxes, make sure I have that energy flux, or make sure I have that Grafdigger's Cage, or Oof, or Tabernacle. It's Vampiric is just a way to make sure you have effectively extra copies. A natural death. I find it funny that somebody's name is Baby. I mean, I would think this is against the age restrictions, right? Can you be a baby and play these events? I mean, I think Jacob's mom had to play for him because he's too young. I like how he wrote in the Discord about how his mom sideboarded in some games, and I'm like, way to stick with it. I mean, way to go. It's Julian. This is the car shops, right? Fleet Wheel Cruiser, yeah. Sometimes you just need a hasty juggernaut. I guess it has trample. Maybe I didn't think about it that has trample. Well, of course it does. You run people over. And it gives something for the revoker to do if 2-1 isn't strong enough. Another one. This looks like PO though. Yep, PO. I think we played them. Oh no, we played Ben Illig, not to be confused with Illig 719. It could have been an alternate account. And then sideboarded Waste and Stripline. I guess it keeps the main deck. One main deck. Oh, I was thinking that as Leyline of the Void, and I'm like, really? One main. Just get lucky. Yeah. The way he tried to approach some things by kind of throwing away the knowledge that has been learned. Like, I understand that maybe he has good intuition or he maybe has raw talent for Magic, but to literally just ignore advice and stuff brought on, yeah. All right, event number 2. This one went better for me. I changed to play Not Me's version of, I called it Grixis Arcanist just because I thought that was easier. Lost that first round to DPS. Then we beat Bug. Lost to Rug, so started off 1 and 2, but then beat Hogak Vine, beat Bug again, beat Reanimator. Then we lost to the Dredge with Hogak, and then won our last 3 against Bug, and the Rug Vine deck. So finished in 7-3. I got 53rd place, I think. So I was pretty happy with that. So, winner of this event is this looks like just straight up Dredge. Yeah, there's no Hogak, there's no Vengevine, just straight up Dredge. Then we've got Doomsday in second. The sheer number of like election texters or whatever you want to say that all start off with the same, hey, is this Jeremy? And it's like, I don't know you, stop texting me. It's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny, it's really annoying, but I'm just... Flusterstorm, Eliminate, Cavern of Souls, Steel Sabotage again. Kevin ended up in 3rd place. We were cheering him on most of the way. Kevin is my travel buddy for tournaments. He lives about 10 minutes down the street from me. So whether we used to go to RIW for vintage, and then now it's Battle Creek. We've had some in Grand Rapids. I guess he could drive his own ones to that, but it's always nice to drive to an event with Kevin and kind of get to talk to him, pick his brain, talk about stuff. So we kind of had a group chat going through the week, and it was really cool seeing his progress, and I was definitely cheering him on. So this looks like just kind of Jeskai. I don't know, did he have any spice? Now, what was really lost is that when Kevin gets his deck altered, that he has like this Christmas theme going, and like his dual lands and all of his stuff, it looks so gorgeous. It's pretty awesome. He went with Leyline, had a balance. Alright, so Tezzeret here. Looks like Xerox again. So Jeskai in third and fourth. And then Stone Peanut. I am actually level 1. Oh, that's too bad. They must be a new streamer to only be level 1. Well, if they stick with it, I'm sure at some point they'll be higher than level 1. I mean, that's how it works. You should level up over time. Mystic Remora's back on the menu. Knight's Whisper. A second Remora out of the sideboard, along with the Sphinx. I saw a lot more of the Sphinx coming out than, I don't know, it has been in a little bit. And, I mean, I think we had talked about one time of which would be harder to deal with, Sphinx versus Blightsteel. The Blightsteel kills faster, but Sphinx is... I guess with Sphinx, you're giving them time to find an answer, but are there answers? I mean, other than swords? I guess we've seen Steel Sabotage that I hadn't thought about prior. And kicked Bloodchief Thirst, I had also not thought about before. Yeah, that's the big thing, is that it's undackable. When we were comparing, okay, you have Blightsteel, or you have Sphinx. You know, Blightsteel is going to finish the game likely faster, but you can DAC, you can swords. Well, you can swords either one of them, but you can't Shattering Spree it or anything like that. So, when I was trying to put that Tinker package into Breach, I think we were comparing the two of them and ended up with Blightsteel Colossus, but the more I feel like Sphinx just might be better, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Tinker is so powerful. I kind of want to get back to maybe setting up stuff, because I have always liked Time Vault myself, doing stuff like obviously it's a powerful card, and you're going to run into, you know, Collector Oof and various. Now Force of Vigor is another thing that can definitely throw a wrench in plans like that, but with a way to protect yourself, Defense Grid for example, I feel like there is still potential there, and I mean, sometimes you just play a quick Sphinx of the Steel Wind and you kill them. Yeah, so when it came down in that third game, because that was the one where they tinkered into it, and I was holding one bolt. If it didn't have lifelink, I would have had the chance to maybe get to a second bolt in time because they were at 4 life. But the lifelink just put it out of range so quickly that I couldn't keep up with it. All right, Winged Hussar. I saw that they were trying to come to a decision on what they wanted to call this. Trying to find a good name for coverage. And I think I heard Horror One instead of Hollow One because it has the additional squeeze as well as, well, obviously Hollow One. But there's no Vengevine here. So you're not getting the Vengevine payoff. It's more Bloodghast, Hogak, trying to do that aspect of it. Meanwhile, having a gold card between Reaper King, where is it? Reaper King and the Ur-Dragon give you these multicolored cards that can pitch to Contagion. They pitch to Force of Negation, Force of Will. I mean, technically they're green. They can pitch to Force of Vigor as well. So it was just an interesting approach to have all of that. So yeah, what are we gonna call this? We can call it Horror One. We can call it Bizarre BS. We could call it 8 Squee. And then Oinkster, Oinkster the Pig. Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire. We have Rug again. It looks like it might only be Rug. Checking the lands. Yep, looks like just Rug. Now, this list doesn't run. They don't run Extract, so I don't know how optimal it might be. How do you not run Extract? Ninth place. Wow. So I didn't know that they finished well in event number 2 and then turned around and came back. Tom Basketball with the 12th place. Playing PO. Unicorn Paradise. 4 copies of Top. And then Bosch and Roll is the 16th place in the second event. I know this is the list that they had been working on and chronicling their adventures in the blog. If you haven't checked it out already, this is Brian Koval. And it was kind of cool to see how they progressed through the weekend and finally get a payoff in the third one. All right. So, third event. Now, if you don't already know, this one has some extra drama associated with it. And so the, let's say, final standings are potentially not in doubt, but there is an asterisk here because the winner of the event, after the top 8 played out as far as I know straight up, but in order to make it into the top 8, there were some shenanigans involved. So we will list Doomsday as a first place here, but with a heavy asterisk. Blue Black X is looking strong. In what way are you saying Blue Black X? Do you mean, does that encompass Doomsday and Esper PO? I guess. I would go, yeah, I mean, how far can you get generic? Because, well, here, let's finish out the rest of it, because I guess Blue Black X could encounter both Bug and Doomsday, and to me, that's a really wide margin. All right, hold on, I'll be right back. So, Doomsday, Esper PO, and Grixis Xerox. I mean, I say this first previously, where general consensus is if you're gonna play blue, and then red is the next best color. I mean, I think blue is the consensus best color, and then it makes sense to play red so that you can fight blue. It's when blue is all the way in like first place on the podium, and then second place is down here. Yeah, like that's why people lean towards red, is to fight the blue. I mean, right now, no, I would still say even Doomsday is a primarily, well, does it have the little stat thing? Let's look at the stat thing. I want to see what yeah, it's still a primarily blue deck comparison wise. There are more blue decks that do not play red. I will agree with that statement, but I don't think it necessarily makes it correct. Like if you look at it as, well, we have Bug and you can have Rug, they're both playing the green cards and then choosing which they prefer of the black and red. Here, let's finish out the rest of the top 8, and then we'll look at what we got overall. So this is not Golos. This is more aggressively shops. So this is Ravager shops. All right, Bosch and Roll, third place. He gets there with his Rug deck. Magni is Breach. Looks like Breach. Check the lands. Yep, 4-color Breach. The entire continent of Antarctica showed up for 5th place just to play Golo Shops. Thank them for the contribution. We got another Bizarre. Is this? This looks like Hogak Vine. Yep. Alright. And then Islet did a great job. This is the 4-color, like Svaka type. Looks like it. DRS. It's probably a better way to write it. Because, like, you know, Rug doesn't play DRS. And then 8th place looks to be pretty normal Dredge. Yeah. Okay. So, let's we've got Bug. Nice. It'd be better if I did it actually in Excel because then I'd have columns. Boop. So looking at that, one, two. So Bug got 2 lists in the first top 8, and then after that, just kind of failed to show up again. So yeah. Now, what is interesting is to see Doomsday, Doomsday. Doomsday appear 4 times. Here, we'll start from the first one. So Bug, Jeskai, Doomsday, Rug, Grixis, Repeat, Golos, Shops, Dredge. Now, what do you guys think? Do you consider Dredge and Doomsday to be different. So really, we've got 1, 2. So let me come around to Dredge, Doomsday again, Jeskai 2, Jeskai 3, Shops number 2. Dredge and Doomsday are different. No shit. What about what about Dredge and Hogak? That's what I was referring to. Decks that both play Bazaar. Or like this horror one. How far different is Horror 1 and Hogak Vine and Dredge really? That's where I'm saying the Bazaar decks, how far apart are they truly? Just like I would say, so okay, I would say Ravager Shops and Golo Shops are different. So Horror 1, this Bazaar based one is definitely different than Ravager Shops. So yeah, I do feel like this is probably a distinct thing. Like Dredge is like, hey, this is what I got. And if you beat me, you beat me. So that's Rug 2, Rug 3, 4-color Breach, Golo Shops again, Hogak being its own thing. Then 4-color DRS, and then a second Dredge. So yeah, to see across these 24, Doomsday, and then Shops, Jeskai, and Rug, and then Bug and Dredge, where I would say you have Dredge relatives in this Hogak and the Horror one, making it 4. And then the Golo Shops seeing Ravager Shops, so being in that same neighborhood as well. But then you could potentially lump Jeskai, Rug, and Bug. I get how different are you with archetypes that the difference between them is more pronounced versus less pronounced. I just think that is definitely interesting to see the spread, because people were talking about is there going to be a need for bans or anything like that, and I honestly hope not. I am definitely frustrated with the prevalence of Wasteland. Now, maybe that's a better way to put it, and because, like, Bug is resource denial. So, Bug is a Wasteland-driven deck. And maybe that's the thing, is what is the key land? What's the key land they're playing off? So I would say the key land in this is Wasteland. Jeskai doesn't capitalize the same way, I wouldn't think. You know? Like, these Jeskai lists, I mean, would you say that Mystic Sanctuary is the card driving them? Or is Jeskai, if it has a land that it's looking to capitalize, because it doesn't, like, the Bug decks have Mystic Sanctuary too, right? I guess not. I guess it's a lot harder to put Mystic Sanctuary in your deck if you have Wastelands. I didn't really think that too hard. And like this Grixis deck has the Library of Alexandria. So, yeah, that's interesting. That maybe because this is the other bug deck, right? They are wasteland driven. So, what's this? We've decided it's 22. Jeskai, you could either call it Mystic Sanctuary or feels like it's Mystic Sanctuary. What is Doomsday powered by? I mean, Underground Sea? Because it's a blue land that can be picked up to Daze, it can be picked up to Gush, but it's a blue land that lets you cast a Dark Ritual. I think these are also Wasteland decks, these Rug decks. The Rug deck from day 1. Yep, 3 Wasteland strip. The Rug deck from day 2. 2 Wasteland strip. But the fact that they are Wrenn and 6 flavored makes me think they're pushing Wasteland. Yeah. So the Wrenn and 6 is what favors Wasteland there. The Grixis deck. The Grixis deck's just doing clean living. I mean, it's probably Tolarian Academy. Come on now. What is I guess they have Mystic Sanctuary, but do they rely on it to the same degree, or is it just free? I did see that they had an Arcanist. So they have an Arcanist in their Breach deck. Interesting. Did the 4-color DRS have Wastelands? I mean, I would think it does, yeah. But it's not. It has Wrenn and 6, so it is a Wrenn and 6 deck. So that, okay, we talked about Doomsday having the highest prevalence, but once you start to mix stuff together, it's like, okay, well, Workshop has 4 representatives. Bazaar has 4 representatives, but Wasteland has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It kind of puts Wasteland in the lead. My other thought was, is Jeskai powered by Volcanic Island, maybe? That the Jeskai decks are trying to play that red interaction, 4 Pyroblast main, 3 Pyroblast main. That's the only thing I was thinking is, this one has Arcanist. They both have Arcanist. The power Shattering Spree, they're using Volcanic Island more so. So then, okay, where's our Grixis pilot? What day was he? What day were they? Day 1. Martin Medmitten. I mean, the fact that they're Arcanist and Sprite Dragon, they're probably... But so that only furthers my point that if you have Jeskai and you have Grixis, they both share blue-red, so that they're both Volcanic Island driven. That the Grixis deck would join under Jeskai's Volcanic Island banner. More so than Mystic Sanctuary, where, I don't know, 4-color Breach is probably also a Volcanic Island deck. Because you're trying to cast Breach. You're trying to cast blue and red cards specifically. Like, for those, I feel like it's not defined to the same way. Like, okay, Rug has Volcanic Island in it, but it's trying to set up Wasteland with Wrenn and 6. I think that's the point I'm trying to make is, so maybe Jeskai would better be defined by its Mystic Sanctuary, just because that would be something it's doing different than the other decks, and the fact that they play Volcanics and Tundras, that they're both islands, powers the Mystic Sanctuary. So I think if I put it that way, if this goes back to Mystic Sanctuary, the Grixis deck I don't believe had Mystic Sanctuary. They had Library of Alexandria. Now, you can say they're integral to their identity, but they aren't a blue-white deck. They aren't a blue-black deck. They're specifically playing red in both cases, is what I would say. But that's why I don't think it's a good way to define it by just the dual lands you play. That's why I kind of want to go more towards the accessory lands. And so maybe, you know, what is the land that Jeskai is abusing is maybe a better way to put it. So, like, yeah, Bug plays Underground Sea, but the land that Bug is abusing is Wasteland. The land that Jeskai is abusing is Mystic Sanctuary. I don't know if, by that case, I don't know that Doomsday is technically abusing Underground Sea, but the idea that it's an island that can be bounced for Gush and Daze, and it can also tap for black to cast Duress and Doomsday and Dark Ritual. But, like, so this one, I don't think... I feel like this one is an aberration, that it's not necessarily capitalizing on a land. Jeskai's getting the value out of Mystic Sanctuary. I don't know that 4-color Breach is necessarily. I mean, they're... Yeah, so that is the most... I think this is probably the only one that you would say fits what I was trying to make a point of. That Golo Shops is riding on the back of Mishra's Workshop creating a Dark Ritual every turn. I don't think... I mean, the ones that live or die by Bazaar, well, those are just obvious. And it comes down to, I mean, Shops... Both Shops aspect are called Shops for a reason. So that the Mystic Sanctuary in Breach, the Mystic Sanctuary in Jeskai, and then the lone Grixis pilot, I would say those are the ones where I have less confidence. But I do find that interesting to see the power of their abilities. So you have 1, 3, 6 total if you put it under Wasteland. Wasteland comes out with 6. Mystic, maybe 4. Underground, 4. And then Workshop is 4. Tolarian Academy is a lonely 1. So maybe the big winner looking at these top 8s is actually Wasteland. But it does. So across 24 possibilities, we have 13 archetypes. 13 out of 24 is decent diversity, I think. You know, like we've seen worse. We've seen times that are dominated by like 3 or 4 of the same archetype in the same top 8. So what was it? The year that was it Oath or Shops, or they've probably both done it once, just to see, 5 shops in the top 8 or something like that. So I felt good about this overall. I feel like it is a decent amount of diversity, and whether or not it's being paid attention to, but I think it is kind of cool that it feels like a little bit of anything is playable right now. And a lot of it comes down to how do your matchups shake out. But hey, that's how it's been before. So it really shouldn't be that much different. Yeah. Well, that was the main thing I wanted to do today. Like, I didn't necessarily think I was going to be up for streaming, especially because even after all this, like, I feel like I've kind of, my desire to play Magic kind of ebbs and flows. And so I know the reason I would get so excited for like monthly vintage, you'd be like, monthly vintage? Well, I haven't played in a month, so I can't wait to play again. And then we got to the point where we had 2 chances at vintage a month, and then it's like it started to lose a little bit of its luster, and it was starting to be like, okay, well, I did go to that one this month, so maybe I can't go to the other one. And then, it's, what is it? Diminishing returns. The more opportunity I got. Okay, so people erroneously say that you shouldn't have ice cream every day because, I mean, ice cream's great. So maybe you could have ice cream every day, but maybe you shouldn't have ice cream for breakfast every day. Or I don't know where this analogy is going, but it's definitely off track. All right, hypothetically, let's say that JP's wife went to a different city for like a whole week. Now, it's entirely plausible when JP's wife is gone that JP would eat pizza every day. This is entirely hypothetical, by the way. It's never happened in the past multiple times. So, if JP's wife is gone and JP has pizza multiple days in a row, that is probably not a good idea. But also, after eating pizza you kind of want some kind of diversity in the diet, like maybe pizza every other day, or maybe you have pizza 2 times and then you work in some salad somewhere, for the love of God. But trying to have too much of a good thing is possible. And so that's why I've tended to get burned out, I think. And we really shoved a lot of Magic into the last, 48 hours or so. And so there we go. We found it. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So pushing away from a little bit lets you come back to it, because sometimes the more you're in the mix, it can get frustrating. And that's also why it's been nice to have multiple formats available on Magic Online. Now, at times, different formats are not great. And so, the Mana Trader series last month, or I guess technically this month since October's not over, but they tried to run standard this month, and they started off with Omnath, which was just horribly broken. And so they lucked out that Omnath got banned, and okay, standard got better, but I knew the standard playoffs were going to be, what do you call it? We knew the standard playoffs were going to be on Vintage Eternal Weekend, and I'm like, well, there's 0% chance that I would want to play that over Vintage. So I knew that I was going to be out for this month. The good news is next month of the Mana Trader series is going to be Legacy, and then that means I get to come back in and pay attention again. So actually, we'll just duplicate this, right? Or you could just copy it, or just make yourself a new sheet. Just do that. But I want it to be wide open like this. So let's just make a copy and call it Legacy. And Lonely Sheet 2 will get deleted. Okay. So now let's clear. What I should do is just have a VLOOKUP and bounce off all these so I don't have to type everything. No. Don't be a dork. Okay. So clear that off. Now, can we go back to where the decks are? So, what was this? Sunday was the 26th. So I need 20. Oh, look, they actually gave me a calendar. So I need the 5th through 15th through the 18th. Okay. So we need. Maybe they're calling it the 18th because that's when it ended. Questionable. Were there not 3 events? Oh. Am I looking at it? So, Premier, Green PM, Toon, I got that one. Did I maybe not have this one? Alright, there we go. So, Green, Toon, Green. And then, which is the one? So on 10/16, this would be the. I did not play the. So I played the Friday one. So Friday was the 15th? Friday was the 16th. That's why I went too far back in time. Okay. So the Friday one was the 16th. I did not play the middle one. That's the one I missed. So this is actually the first one. And then okay, I think this is the right order now. Okay. So number 1, Flicker Wisp, Mother of Runes, sure looks like Death and Taxes. Okay. Wait. We are on the wrong one. That is the second event. Okay. Back to the first event. Because I was going to say, that is not the person who I thought won. So what do we got here? Dead of Winter, Arkham's Astrolabe. This sure looks like snow. Now, what amount of snow? Do we have sideboard? Do we have sideboard red cards anywhere? This looks like just 4-color. There's no Volcanic Island to be found, and I don't see any Pyroblast, so this looks like 4-color snow. And then Rug Delver. Third place, Hogak. Fourth place, Death and Taxes. Now, if I'm missing something about delineation in Legacy, let me know. Because Legacy, I will readily admit, I know less about Legacy than other formats. Well, to a degree. But it's just like, if I see Mother of Runes, I'm going to write down Death and Taxes. It doesn't feel like there's really too much difference there. Whereas there could be a difference between, okay, so the snow list in first place had no Volcanic Island, had no sideboard Pyroblasts. Whereas this JPA list, we have Pyroblast, we have Volcanic. So to me, does this have everything else? Forest, Islands, Plains, Swamp, and Volcanic Island. That's 5-color snow to me versus 4-color snow. Because for the most part, I feel like they're going to play the same. Yeah, you can get down to what are the minor differences between them, but it seems like they should be close. 6th place. Once again, Forest, Islands, Plains, Swamp, and a Volcanic. We got 5-color snow again. No, I'm talking about, is there delineation? If I see Mother of Runes, do I just say Death and Taxes and move on? How much more do I have to look at it? When I see snow here, I'm digging into snow to see the difference between 4 and 5-color. But to me, they're both going to be snow. It's just, are they 4-color or 5-color? And then how much really, you know, Eldrazi, Eldrazi, Eldrazi. Okay, this is Eldrazi Stompy. I'm just setting up my, if I'm going to do the same sheet I did before, how much variety do I really want to put into it is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so like what I've done though, so this first set, Hogak was in 4th, or sorry, Hogak was in 3rd. I stopped as soon as I saw So I saw Flicker Mist, Mother Runes, and I just jumped on down. If I come over here and see snow-covered plains, wasteland, whatever, plains and snow-covered plains, that's going to tell me Death and Taxes. If I saw Night of the Reliquary and maybe some savannas or something, then I'll think about Maverick. So here, just looking at this, like this is obviously Death and Taxes. And then we said we had 5-color snow, we had 5-color snow again. Then we had Eldrazi's in 7th place. It's not Eldrazi Tron, no, because why would you play Tron? You have better lands. Okay, and then in 8th place, once again, we got 11 plains. Sounds like Death and Taxes to me. Okay. Rug Delver again. Emrakul. Nahiri the Harbinger in snow. That's kind of interesting because Nahiri kills tapped artifacts. You play a Nahiri and shotgun your opponent's Astrolabe would be pretty funny. Yeah, that's kind of funny. And then you just eventually, that is, I guess that's even a better kill. Eventually, Nahiri just decides to bring Emrakul out, and then, oh, this is punishing Firebase, so this is more Strifo, isn't it? Yeah. I guess punishing Firebase is a way to look at it. Okay, so this is the first event. Does it go down past 16? No, still only cuts to 16. All right, so this one, we have, once again, Death and Taxes. This time is in a first place. Second, calm down. Second place here. Arcanist. So this is interesting. It's not. Is this Pokepile? Yeah, because this has Stifle. It's the Delverless Delver deck, right? Because it's only playing 2 Astrolabe, which is what made me stop and look. Yeah, I think you fall under that Pokepile because it's the Stifle Delverless Delver. So I'll call it Pokepile. Third place, pretty straightforward, Rug Delver. Fourth place, Anji's Ravager. Goblin Rabblemaster, Legion Warboss, Magus of the Moon. We have... What's the best... I was going to call this Moon Stompy. Is that the best way to probably call it out? And this is another... It's a Chalice of the Void deck, but I really like... Now, this isn't a great card per se. Like, it can deal with creatures. Potentially can deal with planeswalkers. But the fact that it's a spell that can do something masquerading as a land, I think is interesting. So what's the best way to call these red decks? I'm going to put Moon Stompy. I mean, it has Rabble-Masters and Legion Warboss. You're trying to play off your Ancient Tomb City of Traders, so yeah, that's what it is. Well, that's the thing is, you can't really call it Dragon Stompy when nobody's played the stupid dragon in, 40 years? So, you have Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon. So that's why I was leaning in that direction. No, I think it's closer to 40. Just saying. But no, like I guess what creatures does Shatter Skull Smashing truthfully smash, right? But maybe it's just enough. It doesn't give. X red deals X damage divided as you choose among 2 target creatures or planeswalkers. So you can hit planeswalkers, but it's a sorcery. Well, I know for a fact that I have cast a Rakdos Pit Dragon in a tournament, and I won it. But it was like it was at a Grand Prix, and it's not a flight, but like the side mana. What would you call it? Side events, but it was like a medium side event. Anyway, I won it playing Blood Moon, and I had a Rakdos Pit Dragon. So all I'm saying is it's closer to 40 years ago because I feel like I've been playing Magic for 40 years because I'm old. All right. Anurag, 5th place. 5-color snow. Sixth place. Hogak again. Now, should I differentiate between how many colors of... I have won tournaments with Metalworker too. Hey, when you are old enough, you can say that you have won tournaments with cards that are older than some people that watch your stream. It's, I believe it's considered to be a benefit, or was it a feature? It's a feature, not a bug. Okay, so now this is the one, and maybe this is why I need to go back and review. So as I was looking at these lists, and I only kind of looked and saw whether they were snow or not, and then if they weren't snow, I kind of just jumped over it and moved on. The reason I say I need to stop that is because, where is it? McWinsauce was playing. He's the person that made me play Omnath with Green Sun Zenith. Where did Green Sun Zenith go? Okay. So, with the Green Sun Zenith, do we still call it snow? Or do we call it like Green Sun Zenith snow? I don't even remember what the hell I called it on my little deck dump thing. I think I just said like Omnath and Friends. So if I call it out as Green Sun Zenith Snow, or maybe make it like 5-color Snow dash Green Sun Zenith to call out the differentiation, because not all of them are playing that. Well, I say not all of them are playing that, but I didn't really look that hard, did I? Okay, sorcery. I think Dead of Winter would give away, although I think I played Dead of Winter, so what the hell do I know? All right, 5th and 6th. I see Dead of Winters, I see no Green Suns. Okay, I see Dead of Winters, I see no Green Suns. So far, we'll go back to this one. Okay, so there was a snow in 5th place. The snow in 5th place is Dead of Winter, not Green Suns. Okay. And so then 8th place looks like Rug Delver. Pokepile is another Snoko deck. Yeah, that's fair. I think Snoko is probably the better framing for it. And then from that, you have your variations. Oh, 9th place. I don't know if they're tiebreakers or whatever, but there is a Turbo Depths. Death and Taxes. Teferi Time. Here's the Esper Vile deck. Another lands deck. Rug Delver. Punishing Fire. Hey, thank you back. good to have you back. So, why does it say thank you, user, for helping me buy the Dr. Pepper? Does it at least say your name in the chat? Because here it just says thank you, user, and that's stupid. It should say thank you. Maybe we just take the user out. It's supposed to say your name. We'll figure that out. Okay. So, yeah, Rug Delver. Just another snow deck. No green sun, no green sun. Dark Petition. We had Ad Nauseam down here. Ad Nauseam Storm in 15th place. And then here we go. Here's Miracles. Miracles in 16th place. Yeah, so the little pop-up message is supposed to put your name in there and say thank you for buying the Dr. Pepper this month. So maybe I'll have to make it more generic. I wanted it to be special so that I could say thank you for the Dr. Pepper, but cheers to you. Okay, so on to the third event. The third event was won by elves? Seriously? Wow, I did not know. So the three winners were Four Color Snow, Death and Taxes, and Elves. Interesting. Yeah, Allosaurus Shepherd. So maybe it would be different if it was just like green creature spells can't be countered. So like it came out and it has its power to not be countered and extends that to your other, even if it was just other creatures. But the fact that it turns Glimpse of Nature, Green Sun Zenith, Natural Order are all uncounterable, that seems pretty crazy. Yeah, they were just like, okay, hear me out. How small can we get the type font in Jumpstart? And you're like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, no, I have this idea for a green card, but it's going to have roughly 6 paragraphs. And he's like, I don't think we can do that. And the typesetter's like, just trust me. Just trust me. Hey, here's the first Oops deck. Are they a Belcher deck? They are not a Belcher deck. So they're just the Oops deck. Oops. Oops, no Belcher, no, yeah, just that. Okay. Third place, Hogak again. And that's where I was kind of saying before. The snow deck, I was giving the various branches of snow, but I haven't really been paying attention to whether or not. I think they've all had Hedron Crab so far, at least, because I know there was talk about Jund versus Bug versus whatever, but I feel like I've gone over a blue card and saw Careful Study or Hedron Crab every time, so I mean, we can check. Day 1, 3rd place. Day 1, 3rd place, blue cards. Day 2, 6th place. Day 2, 6th place, blue cards. All right, so far we're on just the same version. Helm of Obedience or Helm of Awakening? Or Coral Helm? Or Helm of Chatzuk? Yep, we got to bring up that one. Get rid of your banding. Helm of Chatzuk. Gains banding? Here I thought I was removing banding. Are you kidding me? Alright. 4th place. We got 11 planes. Looks like Death and Taxes. You need to calm down. I'm trying to paste. Okay. So blue-white helm. Well, hold that thought. Let's finish the top 24 lists, and then we'll see how it's positioned and why you think that, and why someone's name is Twisted Wombat. We may never know the answer to that one. So, okay, this is a cloud post. This is the green cloud post deck. $12 post. Once again with the 5-color snow, but not no green sun, just 5-color snow. And then Esperville made it in 8th place. All right. And then what else we have out there? Once again, Lands didn't crack any of the top 24 that I saw. I mean, I don't think 12 post isn't Lands. They have Lands, but it's not. I guess that's so. The 12 post has. I thought they used to have Dark Depths. I have seen them with Dark Depths. This one has Candelabra. The one I've seen does not have Candelabra, but I feel like he has one Dark Depth, so he can go for it because he does have stages. Interesting. Cascading Cat. This has Golos in it. Okay, this is not the list by the into play that I watch. This is 12 post with Golos. That's different. I guess Golos is pretty sick when you start flipping over Emrakul's and Thought-Knot. Not Thought-Knots here. Nobody's impressed with Thought-Knots here. But no, my point was that the Lands archetype hasn't really seen or didn't make any of these top 8s, but came in 9th twice. So that's a little rough. And then Snow. Oops. Urza Echoes came in 12th. That's pretty slick. Same list as always, yeah. What is this? This is Epic Storm with Rite of Flame. Scrubland. What's the black card? Orzhov Pontiff. Another Death and Taxes, another Dex Tax, and then Reed came in 16th with Elves. So Elves was the first and a 16th showing. I mean, Elves is real. Okay, so with that out of the way. Okay. So, main deck, Rest in Peace, good against Dreadhorde Arcanist and Uro. Gak, Past in Flames, Echo of the Eons, and Helm Kill with Force of Will would be good against Post, non-storm combos, and a lack of Revoker in Taxes. What's funny is I'm pretty sure that last list, right as did I close it? I did not close it. Huh, I could have swore I saw Revoker. Yeah, okay. There was only one, and then this is in the one that had Orzhov Pontiff. So maybe we can discount that one a little bit. We got swords for that Revoker if we need them. So yeah, if we look at archetypes again, so then the question would be 4-color snow versus 5-color snow. And is Green Sun Zenith really an extra version of it? Skyclave Apparition is definitely powerful. Yeah, does the Apparition... I thought it hit 3 or less. Does it hit 4? 4 or less. Okay. So yeah, it can eat either side of the combo by itself, which is worth knowing. So what I was saying is 5-color snow versus 5-color snow, Green Sun Zenith, or Pokepile. How far apart are those really? Like maybe let's give it or no, we'll do what the other thing is. We broke it out, and then we'll add them back together at the end. Because I feel like there is differentiation, because I did write down something different. If I didn't, if I was going to call it the same thing, then just say it's the same thing. But so Eldrazi. Likewise, we could say we have multiple Stompy variations. So Death and Taxes number 3, Pokepile, Rug Delver again, Moon Stompy, 5-color snow. The 5-color snows felt pretty on top of each other. Here is a Green Sun Zenith snow. I feel like that one is different, because you're going down a different path with that one. And then Elves enters. Oops enters. Hogak repeats. Death and Taxes repeats. Rug Delver repeats. 12 post Golos. 5-color snow again. And then Espervile. So this feels... Yeah, and this 4-color snow really is just a referendum on, do I want to play the Pyroblast or not? And I think that the real question with Snow's evolution, and maybe is better, or it's worth going back, and let's go look, because I think it is more relevant to see whether or not they played... what's the new desert? Dead. So Field of the Dead was not on this page. Is that what you're telling me? Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter. Okay, so there's no Field of the Dead on the first page. Page 2. Dead of Winter. Okay. Here, to me, is the difference. And this is where I took it from. This is the guy that is the Snow deck that had Field of the Dead in it. Because I think that's how you break the Snow Mirror. That Field of the Dead, when you just start pooping out zombies, as long as you can remember to have unique names on your lands and not fetch the same one like a moron, then I think that's how you pull ahead of the mirror. So that here is, what is this? The lands deck in 12th place had it. Well, yeah, that would make sense. So, okay. I think that sets apart the Green Sun Zenith one, is because it has Field of the Dead. And how about this one? Dead of Winter. Field of the Dead in the 9th place lands deck. and then Dead of Winter. So yeah, to me, I think we could lump this 4-color snow in. I think we could put the 4-color snow in with the 5-color snow, but I think that this one needs to stand out. So we'll put snow 4-color, 5-color, and we'll say that has 5 entries. And then this one is really Snoko, Green, Sun, Zenith, Field. Because I feel like those are the innovations in that it has the snow base, but and I almost feel like Pokepile is closer to Rug Delver than it is to Snow. I mean, Pokepile takes the Delvers out. I mean, that's how it felt to me when I played it. It felt like, oh, I took these Delvers out, but I have, the Stifle, I have Dreadhordes, I have Uro, I have Oko. I'm still doing a lot of the other snow, or I'm doing a lot of the other, but I'm not taking advantage of white. I'm not taking advantage of black like Snow usually does. That's why I have it more on the rug spectrum. I think I called it a hybrid of the two with like the worst parts of both, but that wasn't true. I think we 3-2'd with it. Back to the sheet. So, to me, this one is giving honorary credit to this. And then this Green Sun, I don't feel like... I mean, it is definitely in the neighborhood of 4 and 5 color snow. But it is certainly starting to be something else. So, to see the diversity, it maybe is in... It's in that. So you got 6 and a 5 and a 3 and a 4, and then some singles. That definitely, I mean, you have 2 different Stompy styles, so that's duplication. But I don't know. It is pretty interesting to see. All right, we talked about vintage and the health of vintage and how that felt balanced. I don't think this is as balanced. I think things are certainly... Green Sun Zenith Snow is the same kind of thing as Pokepile, but it's like Snoko and Maverick. That's fair. So it's almost like, okay, you take 2 decks and you kind of look for where they overlap. And then, so yeah, you would call out Pokepile is a Rug Snow hybrid. And then you would say Snow is like a Lands Snow hybrid. I think those are both fair. Those are both fair call outs. But what I think it shows overall is that, I don't know, blue and green cards, Uro, Oko, those are really good. I mean, so out of, what is this? This 24, you would almost say that 15. So we talked about the diversity in vintage was 13 archetypes across 13 archetypes across 24 and how that was diverse. Here we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So really that's in the same neighborhood, but why doesn't it feel? Because it feels like even though there are 12 distinct archetypes, a lot of them kind of have overlap, and it's interesting to see. Yeah, if we were to call out the power of Wasteland and then like the haves and the have-nots, that Wasteland's power, even though it exists, it gets nullified when you get to hide behind Astrolabe and Snow Basics and stuff like that. So that is worth noting.